Testing. Oh my God. Here I am talking to you guys. My mic isn't on. Good morning. Good morning. We're going to get started here. Before we begin, make sure you have some water. Make sure you have some yoga blocks or a chair or something to sit on, especially for the first part of the practice. Welcome, Aunt Jan. Welcome, Uncle Ronnie. Glad to have you guys. Here you're moving to Arizona. Guess you'll be rooting for the Diamondbacks now. All right, let's go ahead and find a nice comfortable seated position. If you want to sit cross-legged on the floor, I recommend sitting on a block to elevate your hips. Feel free to sit in a chair. If you do sit in a chair, make sure you sit right at the edge so that you can have a nice straight spine and you're not resting against the backrest. We're going to begin with something called cyclical breathing. This is a breath exercise, essentially just to try to increase the capacity of our lungs to take air in and to increase the capacity to push air out. It's very simple. I'll start by counting for you. We're going to inhale for 6 counts, and then we're going to exhale for 6 counts. We'll breathe in and out through our nose only. And over the course of those 6 counts, when we're inhaling, we want to fill our lungs to full capacity. And then over the 6 counts on our exhale, we want to pull our belly button in towards our spine and push all of the air out of our body. All right, let's give this a try. I'll count to start, and then at some point I'll tell you to take over and you can count in your head as you go through the breath. Let's take a nice big inhale together through our nose and exhale. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue inhaling and exhaling on those 6 counts. Just go ahead and count in your head. go ahead and let your breath return to a more natural state. For this next part, you can stay sitting or feel free to do it standing. We're going to go through a mobility sequence starting with the head and neck and going all the way down the body. When we're doing mobility work, essentially what we're doing is we're isolating a joint or an area of joints, and we want to move that part and that part only. So it's important to hold everything else really, really nice and still. We're going to start with the neck. So start by bracing the core, holding a little bit of tension in your body. Drop the chin towards the chest. You're going to trace the collarbone to the left with your chin until you're looking over your left shoulder. Then you're going to look up at the ceiling, look over your right shoulder, trace your right collarbone back to where you started. Let's do 3 or 4 rotations in that direction, nice and slow. Good. Switch directions. Good. And then back up to center. Do one stretch for the neck while we're here because it feels good, and why not? Interlace your fingers behind your head. Think of dropping the shoulder blades down the back, so shoulders away from the ears. Then bring your elbows close together in the front. And then drop your chin towards the chest. Good. And release. All right, we're going to work with the shoulder blades now. Arms are going to start out in front. We want the distance between our hands to stay the same as we do this movement. Okay, so try not to have them move closer together or further apart. We want to keep the elbows straight, so the entire arm should stay straight throughout the pattern. We're going to start by squeezing the shoulder blades together and then reaching as far forward as possible. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and then reach forward. Okay, you can do this kneeling, you can do this standing, whatever's comfortable. Squeeze and slide. Retract and protract. Actively squeeze the shoulder blades together and actively push the hands forward. Good, and release. Hands by your sides. 2 different motions now in the shoulders. We're going to lift the shoulder blades up, keeping the hands pinned to the sides, and then slide them all the way down the back. Okay, so elevate and depress. And with these exercises, they look really simple, but the goal is to try to expand our range of motion as much as possible. This is a good thing to do in the morning too, when we're maybe a little stiff, just to get everything moving properly. Good, and relax. Shake that out, shake that out. All right, this next one's for the shoulder. Shoulder joint is a little bit more complicated than the other joints that we've worked with so far. So I'm gonna have you watch the first time as I go through the pattern, and then after that you can watch Dad. Just kidding. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I'll do it from multiple angles so you can see what's happening. I'm gonna start with my right arm. I'm gonna open the shoulder, which means externally rotate it. My palm is gonna be facing away from my body. I'm going to bring my arm across my body, keeping my arm straight. I'm going to bring my bicep up by my ear. Hand is pointing in towards my face. At this point, I rotate my shoulder so now my hand is facing away from me. I reach back, continue that rotation in, and end back where I started. Now I reverse. I lift up in the back. Once I can't go any further, I'm going to allow the shoulder to unwind. Bicep comes up by the ear, hand framing the face, pointing in. Arm cuts across the body, back to where I started. Okay, let's try that together. We'll go nice and slow. Again, you can do this kneeling, you can do this standing, whatever's comfortable for you. Starting with the right arm. Open, hand pointing away from the body. Arm cuts across. Bicep up by the ear. Rotate. So now the hand is going to turn away from the face. As you reach back, don't rotate the spine, just isolate the shoulder. Continue to rotate in, and then reverse. Lead with the thumb. Once you can't lift anymore, allow the shoulder to unwind. Bicep up by the ear, hand pointing in towards the face. Arm cuts across and down. Good. 2 more. Arm across. Brace your core here. Bicep up by the ear. Rotate. Reach back. And reverse. Reach back. Rotate. Bicep by the ear. Arm cuts across. All right, shake that out. This is a good one if you have any sort of shoulder impingement or problems or pain. If you have pain while doing it, obviously don't do it, but this can really help mitigate some pain and stuff. After I had a bike injury, I landed on my shoulder. I was doing those every day, took care of the problem. All right, let's go ahead and do the other side. Again, brace your core. Try not to rotate in the chest at all. Open the shoulder. Arm cuts across. Bicep up by the ear. From here we rotate. Hand's gonna go away from the face as we reach back. And continue that internal rotation. Now we reverse, you reach, unwind, bicep up by the ear, arm cuts across. Nice, 2 more. And good. Nice. Shake that out. Shake that out. All right, moving right along. We've done the shoulder. Now we're going to work with the spine. For this, let's get onto all fours if it's comfortable. If it's not, since I haven't worked with a few of you, I'll just give you some modifications. You can use them if you want, or if you don't need them, don't use them. You can also do this standing from a chair with your knees bent. Okay? So on all fours or using the chair. Nice big inhale, lift the tailbone. So lifting up, lifting the head, extending the spine. And then nice big exhale, tuck the pelvis under, tuck the head, lift the spine up towards the ceiling. Good. Inhale, extend, lift the head, lift the pelvis. Exhale, tuck. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Come back to neutral. We're going to go side to side now. This is a movement that most of us don't practice with our spine that often, so it can be a little tricky. Essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to bring my shoulder closer to my hip. At the same time, I'm trying to bring this hip closer to this shoulder. Okay, so it's two movements. It's this movement and this movement at the same time. So I squeeze my side, shoulder and hip come closer together. Back to neutral, squeeze on the other side. Back to neutral, squeeze. It's kind of like a dog wagging its tail, but in slow motion. Good, and release. Hips onto heels if you can. Arm out in front. If this is uncomfortable to be down here, you can also do this exercise from the chair. I'll show on the chair first, and then I'll show you the version on the floor. If you're on the chair, what you're going to do is you're going to put opposite hand onto the outside of the opposite leg, grab the back of the chair and twist, and then you'll be switching back and forth. Okay? If you're okay on the floor, let's have left hand on the floor, right hand behind the head or neck. Bring elbow to elbow, and then twist. Good. Switch sides. And good. All right, working on down to the hips, almost there. Almost made it through all the joints. All right. Let's have right leg back, left leg in front. Feel free to have a blanket or a pillow or something under your knee if those are sensitive. If you want a little bit more of a stretch, go ahead and tuck the foot in the back. If it's pointed, you'll have a little less of a stretch. Sit up nice and tall. And then what we're going to do to activate your hip flexor stretch, you're going to squeeze your glutes. Okay, so you squeeze your butt, and what that does is it's a small little movement, but it's going to tuck the pelvis under. That's going to lengthen this entire front part of the leg. And if you squeeze and activate, you should feel a nice stretch go down the front part of your leg here, in your hip flexors and in your quadriceps. And then we just hold. Feel free to use a chair in front if you need, and again, you can put a pillow underneath your knee. Is it raining down there for you guys? Because here it's our first thunderstorm of the year. It's great. Nice, and let's switch legs. Again, to activate the stretch, sit up nice and tall, squeeze the glutes, tuck the pelvis under. Should feel stretch light up through those hip flexors. Good, and release. Nice. All right, these next two stretches we're going to do using the chair. First one we're going to do standing. This is going to be for the hamstrings. If you need something to hold on to, if balance is a little tricky, place it near a wall, just so that you can have a hand on something. All right, I'm going to put my right leg up on the chair, foot flexed. I want a little bend in the knee. I don't want to be hyperextending, okay? Little bend in the knee, nice straight spine. And then to activate the stretch, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hinge at the hips. So I'm going to close my hips, keep my back straight for as long as possible. As I lean forward, I'll start to feel a really intense stretch in the back of my leg here. If you want to take it up a level, you can hold the chair and twist into that stretched leg. Or maybe try to hold your toe. Again, doing this with a straight spine. We don't want to be all rounded over, okay? Good, and release. Let's go ahead and do the other leg. Again, start with the leg slightly bent. Nice long spine. Lean forward, keeping a straight spine until you start to feel a nice stretch. You can stop there. Maybe try to go a little further. And hold. Again, if you want to take it up a notch, put your opposite hand of the leg you're stretching onto the chair and twist, or maybe try to put your hand on your toe and twist into that front leg. Good, and release. Nice, shake it out, shake it out. One last stretch here for the hips. This one we can use the chair, and then if you don't want to use the chair, I'll show you the version on the floor. What you're going to do is sit at the edge of your chair. If you need a little assistance, grab your foot, grab your knee, cross the leg over. Okay. And then try to sit up nice and tall. If you need a little bit more of a stretch, then lean forward again, trying to maintain that nice straight spine. Okay. If you want to try the version on the floor, you'll have, let's say, left leg in front, right leg behind, 90-degree angles in both hips, nice straight spine, and then lean forward. Nice, we're going to hold this for about 30 seconds and then we'll switch the other side. While we're stretching, this is a good opportunity to go back to that breathing pattern we were doing at the beginning. The diaphragm, which is the muscle, it's this kind of trampoline-shaped muscle that runs along the inside of the rib cage that is essentially the muscle of breath. It's also connected to a lot of the connective tissue that runs down into the hips. So when you're breathing, you're actually creating space, not just here in the diaphragm and in the ribs, but all the way down into the hips and into the pelvis. Good, and let's switch sides. Good, and release. Take a moment, shake your legs out, shake everything out. That is going to be the class for the morning. Just a nice and easy way to wake up, get everything moving. I know mobility work, especially when you first start, these kind of introductory exercises aren't the most interesting, but hopefully you can feel the benefits. And as you get better at them, you can do them a little bit quicker. It doesn't take as long. And it really helps just to keep everything mobile and everything moving, a little less pain, which is always good. Any questions? I'll stick around for a minute or two. Happy to demonstrate any of those exercises, or if you have questions about specific areas that you're feeling discomfort, or maybe not discomfort, but just areas that you want to work on, you can let me know and I can demonstrate some stuff. Also, I got a wonderful Christmas present this year. My girlfriend Angelique made me this beautiful mug with the Vitruvian Man on it. So cool. Made the whole thing from scratch. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. All right, if there are no questions, I'm going to sign off. What's for dinner tonight? Honestly, leftovers. We've been cooking so much. We still have hot and sour soup left over from when we made it the other night, so we're gonna have that for lunch, and then for dinner, I think we're gonna do the Thai red curry that we have leftovers for. Yeah. Oh my God, that curry was so good. One of our neighbors has kaffir lime trees, and you can use those leaves in the curry, and it has this really intense, almost like if bay leaves and lime had a baby. Yeah, it took the curry to the next level. It was delicious. I'll have to cook for everyone soon once this whole pandemic is over. All right. Love you guys. Have a wonderful afternoon. Stay dry, stay safe.